Hey Mike, can you talk about just being part of this Coaches versus Cancer event? I know you've known about Penn State basketball for a long time, and I'm sure you've heard about this tournament. But being part of it, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, what an impact this community is making on Coaches versus Cancer and helping so many people. So I'm just blown away last night, blown away today. The goodness of people, the goodness of the Penn State community that we always hear about, and now being a part of it as the head coach here, pretty special, really cool. Just all the people I'm meeting, all the Penn Staters I'm meeting. It's been humbling, without a doubt. It's been a lot of fun. So the turnout last night, the reception was one thing, and then I think we have 81 foursomes today, and beautiful day. So just it's a really neat thing, and now the key is let's continue to keep this going so we can impact so many people that need it.
I'm sure you had a chance to meet Bruce and Jerry last night.
Yeah.
So knowing that those guys were like here at the beginning, what messages did they have to say to you?
Well,
and just
number
carrying
one
this thing
thing
on?
I told them is we're going to honor you guys because you started this by keeping this going and trying to make it better and keep adding things to it and improve it. And I think every head coach or leader should always put their stamp on it some way to make it better and move it forward. And we're going to continue to do that. But we're going to honor those guys because something like this, the hardest thing to do is start it and get it going. And those guys are the ones that did it. So we're just going to honor them by how we handle it every year and try to make it bigger and more impactful as we can.
In terms of getting to know the community around Penn State basketball, what does an event like this do for you as kind of a newcomer coming in?
Yeah, number one, just meeting people, right? Build it. The first thing to do before you build a relationship is start it, and especially last night and today, I've heard a lot of names and who people are, but now I'm spending some time with them. And this morning, just driving around on my golf cart, watching people swing, and then say hello to them and talk to them, face to face, building relationships. That's my job to do that, put that effort in. But the last 2 days allows me to do that at a pretty cool in a pretty cool environment. So, but yeah, just to get people to support your program, the number one thing you do is build relationships and build it on trust. And they see our commitment, our staff and our players have in what we're trying to do. That's how you get everybody on board.
Mike, what has stood out to you over the last night and today so far about the community?
Two things. Community. One thing I've heard, I kept hearing that word since I've been here 2 months now. It's a community. It's a community. And there's always, around programs or schools and all that stuff, there's catchwords, right? Community's one around Penn State, but you see it and feel it. It's real. That. I think the second thing is people coming back is they love Penn State. And they have relationships, and that makes it important. But just everybody that lives around here wants to help each other and support everybody. But then people that have a connection to Penn State or play the sport here or went to school here, they have great pride in Penn State. That Penn Staters, as I keep hearing as well, I feel that, I see that.
Can you speak to the ability to connect with former players? Obviously, Joe's on your staff, but
Yeah.
so many guys there last night. What's it like to just be able to reach out to them? And
Yeah, because I'm from Pennsylvania, I know all the names.
Right.
But now I get to shake hands and spend some time with them and break some bread with some of these guys. And, that's everywhere I've been, we've made it a big deal to get our former players and former coaches to come back. Those are the guys that wore the uniform and sweated and bled and went through, their 4 years here, and the coaches, of course. So that's important to me that we build our basketball family, as I call it, with so many former players being connected. And we want to reconnect those that have gone, their ways, building their professional and personal careers, and get all those guys back. Joe will help with that, but Danny Earl I've known for a long time, and seeing him. Pete Lasecki's from Lehigh
Right.
Valley, played against him at times, and he and Brent Scott played together on the same team in Poland. So just rekindling some relationships and getting everyone the word out that we're going to have everybody come back and be welcome back for sure.
What's kind of the I guess, biggest feedback or the biggest thing that gets brought up about Penn State basketball when you talk to these people? Is it what they think this program will be? What are those?
Yeah, you know, everybody's excited. When there's a new coach, everybody gets excited, and you know, I guess the excitement of what's going to happen, right? So, number one was our roster, because we didn't have much of a roster, and we're getting closer to completing that. So that, I think a lot of people are excited about that, want to know about our new players, and I think just you know, the unknown part of it, right? How are you going to play? How are you guys going to go about it? How are you going to be in the community? So I think people are excited about that, which most anywhere when there's a new staff, a new coach, people want to see what we're going to do.
You talk about the basketball family and kind of bring everyone together. How will that Bahamas trip that you guys have in August kind of help with the current group that you guys have?
Yeah, you know, the timing of that, Shrews had that already planned and all that stuff with me, a new staff coming on board and a whole new team. It's perfect timing for us. We're going to have 8 weeks in the summer, get to work, get some classes under our belt, build this team together, but then we can end the summer on a bonding trip, as I'm calling it, going to Bahamas, playing a couple games, putting the uniform on, you know, being together, but also just the team going to the Bahamas and building who we're trying to become, and the bonding part of it is really, really important.
What have the last couple months been like? Has it been like pure scramble mode trying to build that roster?
Yeah, I mean, every day is an absolute whirlwind. So get up about 6:15, be in the office early, and go until you drop, and then do it again the next day. I mean, honestly, that's what it's been. It's been awesome, though. Like, it's been fun. I love my staff that we're going to work with like that every day, and just building this the way we want to build it, and not panicking. Just every day, just keep getting after it. And I always say the first 100 days, when you take a job, you just sprint every day till exhaustion and do it again. Lay the foundation, set the tone in the office every day with your team. That's coming up here when they get on campus June 14th. But it's been a whirlwind, but it's been a lot of fun too. It's been a lot of fun.
Going back to when you first got the job, did you have any specific goals as far as building the roster? And now that the roster is almost filled up, how would you say you've done in meeting what you tried to do going back from the outside? So.
Yeah, I'm probably not great on judging and giving myself a grade, because you always think you could do better. But I will say I think we wanted to make sure we had depth in all positions. I think we've done that. We have versatile players. We're guys that can play different positions and play at different ways at time. We can play big. We can play small. We have a bunch of guards. You know, we can play differently. You know, I think we did pretty well in the transfer portal. I think there was we wanted to make sure there were guys that fit what we're trying to build, and I didn't want to. It wasn't about being a quick fix. If we win right away, great, but I wanted to make sure we were building it to last and doing it the right way. And so I also think we got some great balance in the transfers, so they're not all top-heavy upperclassmen or underclassmen. We got some good balance there, so that has helped.
How important are the two groups of guys that you're familiarity with? The three guys coming back to Penn State, the freshmen, and the two guys that are following you from PSU and setting the culture here.
Yeah, you know, the time I spent with Jamil and Kanye and Meech has been great, because they got a taste of us for a couple weeks, so they know they better be ready to get to work when they get back here. Nick and Ace, they know what we do, and you know, they're up here now, so they'll, you know, those five guys can really help by just jumping in, because they understand what we want. But every season's new, even with returning players, because you always want to, you're going to tweak stuff, you're going to change some things. Biggest thing for us, the guys understand how important it is for us to be on time, to work really hard, and to be a great teammate. Like, those three things right there can help you build the team the right way. And you know, that will be about, you know, the whole summer is we're going to be on time, we're going to work really hard, and we're going to be great teammates. And you could build a team starting with that stuff.
Can you speak about Ace in particular, because he seems like the kind of guy that you can build a program around, not like one single person, but just kind of a natural leader from the outside looking in. Can you talk about how important it was to get him early in the process?
Yeah, I mean, we just, you know, a special relationship with him that goes well beyond basketball, and not just with me, but with our whole staff and with their family. So having him to come to Penn State, I'm honored to have him. I mean, he's a really good player, but we're also, it's the next step for him too, and for his growth as a basketball player. And I want him to lead like he did at VCU. I want him to lead here. I want his competitive leadership more than anything, because that's where I think he's a lead at. He's a competitive kid, and I think very quickly some of his teammates will see how competitive he is and how hard he works and how tough he is, and that rubs off on other guys. He's a throwback type of point guard, so guys want to play with him because he gets guys shots, he gets guys baskets. He gives you great juice type of guy, but his competitiveness that's what is so elite about him. So having a guy like that knows how we want to do things, and he's been through some adversity in his life and in his basketball life, I think that's only going to help our team.
Was it a challenge getting him here? Because he obviously entered the portal, I think, during your introductory press conference, and after that, everybody kind of speculated because of your relationship. But were there still challenges trying to recruit him to get there?
Yeah, it's honestly it's a challenge in recruiting and everything. So even though we had a great relationship with him, we weren't making him come to Penn State. We wanted him to come to Penn State. So everybody else was involved recruiting him and all that stuff. But that's where we value relationships more than anything in recruiting. Knowing the people, knowing the recruit very well and his family and the people in their circle, that's important. So if you got a guy that played a couple of years for you, that relationship, that's what we're going to lean on. He's really, really excited to be here at Penn State. He's enjoying this. He's never been in an environment like Penn State before. He grew up in Baltimore, went to Richmond. So seeing this, he's having fun up here. And he and Nick love the mountains. They've never seen mountains before in their life. They love it. And they're meeting a lot of the other athletes here, a lot of the football players. So they're getting accustomed here. But those two guys, and especially Ace, they love to be in the gym. And it doesn't matter where you're at. They have a chance to be in the gym and put on a uniform. That's the neat thing. So yeah, it was hard recruiting. It's hard to recruit everybody now, all the time. And the most important recruits that you have are the ones in your program. So that's where we got to spend all our time anyway.
What do you think is going to be the big key to kind of mesh, these 9 new guys coming in together with what's already here? As a coach, what do you look at for that challenge?
Well, I mean, being able to play together, that part of it. Usually you bring in new guys, it's 3 or 4, maybe a 5th, with 8, 9, 10 other guys. Everybody's new. So building a team, making them learn to trust each other. But anytime you take over a new program, that's usually number 1 on the list, and teaching them a work ethic that can help you win a championship. That's super important in a new program. So you spend a lot of time. The great thing for basketball players in the summer is they work out together, they hang out together. They're only taking 1 or 2 classes. There's some more free time, so that's where you can get a lot of bonding going on before the school year starts.
What are your general thoughts on the portal? Because for a program in transition,
we don't have
right.
Well,
give
look,
it and take it away, kind of. Yeah.
So it's great right now for us because we needed it to build a team, right? To make a roster. I think it's a little too easy for someone just to go into it, but that's my opinion. But I understand why the NCAA's done that and give more autonomy to student athletes. I get that and I respect that. I just wish there's not so many transfers. I think the greatest lesson that I learned in my college career was my freshman year and dealing with adversity when things didn't go my way on and off the court. And they were the best lessons I got. And I remember talking to my dad, and he said, "Figure it out. You're not going anywhere." Now it's the other way around. When something's not going well, you're not playing well, you're not getting the minutes you want, or this and that. There's something else out there, and that's just sort of not life to me. And, because when you're out of college someday and real life hits you, you can't run away from all that. So I just wish we would deal with some adversity on and off the court. I understand the transfer portal. I get it. But I wish we dealt with adversity a little bit better, and it wasn't so easy to transfer. But I get it. And the transfer portal helped Penn State basketball this spring for sure.
Hey, one last thing. What's it like being so close to home? Because I'm sure at VCU there was kind of a buffer between you and all your people.
We had about 5 hours. Now we only got about 2. So it's been really neat. I've run into people here in State College that are coming through or bringing their kids up here for a visit or stuff like that, and I've gotten some Schuylkill County treats.
People who know your
drop
dad
off.
too, I've heard.
Yeah, that probably one of the neatest things since I've been back here is when we went to the state capitol, and I ran. My dad was a state senator for 28 years, and just running into people in the capitol that worked with my dad, that's been around my dad, and that was really humbling. It was a really cool day, brought back some great memories. That was a lot of fun. So, and a lot of people here at Penn State that worked with my dad. My dad was really into the education part of what he was doing, and so there's some people at Penn State that worked with him personally. So that's been really neat to connect with those people as well.
So obviously Iceland is a long way from here. So how did you guys discover Rhoades? I hope I'm saying his name right.
Broggy.
And what was the process of getting him to come to Penn State from there?
Well, his brother John Axel Goodmanson was a great player at Davidson. And when I was at VCU, we played against him. He was A-10 Player of the Year a few years back. He's playing professionally in Italy this year. So when Broggy's name came up, we knew about his family, basketball players, and when we saw that he was a 6'5" Goodmanson, his brother John Axel was like 6'2", that was intriguing. We watched some tape of him. We made some phone calls. Brandon Rosell, who's our director of recruiting, he played over in Europe 9 years. He knew some people from Iceland. He played in Iceland, and there was some connection there. And we got on the phone with he and his family. His dad is a legend player. Mom and dad were on the national team in Iceland. So we just worked it. Penn State did recruit John Axel a little bit before he went to Davidson. So they had some familiarity with Penn State. So it just worked out. We got him here on campus, and he committed at dinner time. So it was really cool. So I'm glad we got a freshman, and he's going to get bigger and stronger, but he's a talented player.
We have time for one more for Coach.
What's the rest of the summer hold for you guys in terms of, kind of the game plan?
Get everybody here June. Get one more recruit. Get everybody here June 14th and get to work. A lot of hard work. A lot of time spending together. My family's still in Richmond, and then they got all crazy stuff their summer with their sports this summer. So I'll be up here a lot, and we'll be spending a lot of time together.
Cool.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.